This experience of The Great Gatsby was really, really fantastic. It was such a great experience. I set out to create a show that had a big cast. I really, really wanted to have music and dance in there and to really recreate the Jazz Age. And the cast were absolutely fantastic. Boy, did they deliver. The band were amazing. Dance troupe coming in was fantastic as well. And honestly, the cast raised their game so high to the standards set by the script and by myself. So I was really, really proud of them.
My role is she's very sophisticated. She comes from a very rich background and she's married, but yet she has almost a past issue with her life that she can't quite get away from. So she's a very interesting character. I really like her.
I really enjoyed playing the role of Jordan Baker. She's Daisy Buchanan's best friend, but they're sort of polar opposites. It's not a relationship you would normally see in everyday life. She's a professional golfer, which completely does not relate to me, but was quite fun to try and get the hang of.
So my highlight was probably just being part of a really, really, really beautiful production. The whole cast was just incredible. Like every single person was just incredible, and the teachers were brilliant. But a hard thing about it was actually getting to structure the actual scenes, because you think it's just all going to be easy, but with lots of people in a scene it becomes really busy.
My favourite part was probably the rehearsals leading up to it. At first it was kind of nobody knew what was really going on, and then we sort of started to structure it a bit more, and it got to the point where we were all just having fun and then running the lines and doing all the party scenes. That was probably my favourite bit.
Love the parties.
We had a lot of fun, and then when it came to the dress runs, it was all, putting everything together. And when we ran the show all the way through for the first time, it was just, this is what we've all worked towards, and felt quite proud.
Yeah.
It was spectacular. It was great, if I quote the name. It was so fun. It was such a great sense of community. We had so many years all together, a part of it, and yeah, it was just so lovely.
Yeah, I'd agree. The sense of community was really nice. I only started at the school in September, so it was really nice, I think, to be in a place with people who also all love drama and to get to know those people who've become some of my really close friends. I think it's always scary to go into a new space and start working in a new space. Especially with new people at the same time. You have to get to know the people, get to know the space on a new production that I hadn't read. And so there's 1,000 things to think about, but you had the best people making sure that everything was ticking along nicely, and it did, and it made a gorgeous show. So.
Yes, I think to piggyback off that, for me, I'm no stranger to performing in the space, as we know, but it was so spectacular. They call it The Great Gatsby, and that really is what it was. The set was so wonderful. The lighting was one of the highlights for me, really. It just brought such an amazing atmosphere, and that really is what we tried to create as performers. The live band was absolutely wonderful to have. It's so great as a performer to have someone that can not only cover you if you make a mistake, which luckily no one did, but to feel the atmosphere that it brings. I talked about the lights earlier and how that creates an atmosphere, and the band does just that as well.
And I think having a live band isn't something every school can do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go into every school and see people who are just willing to get involved. I think it just adds something so magical.
So Mr. Smith came to me and he said that he's doing The Great Gatsby. And as the whole show is set in the 1920s, the Jazz Age, he said he didn't want any backing tracks. He just wanted real band. So I was like, that's a brilliant idea. Initially, we were just going to do maybe 2 or 3 songs, 2 or 3 little jazz numbers. So I was like, yeah, I'll get a jazz band, that'll be fine. 2 songs, 3 songs, turned into 30 different musical numbers. But the kids were absolutely amazing. The band that we got were just incredible. So many times I said to them, we've got another one to learn. We've got another one to learn, and another one. But every single one, they were so enthusiastic. They absolutely smashed it every single time. I cannot say enough good things about them. They were just incredible.
It was a really interesting experience, I think, because obviously we're right on the set itself.
At all times.
Yeah.
So it felt really authentic.
So you're quite vulnerable in a way, but you really have to show like how you work as a team. And it's right on stage, so they can see everything that you're doing together. So keeping the communication.
It's like adapting, real time kind of thing. Yeah. we learned a really difficult song called Caravan from Movie Whiplash, and being able to actually bring it together and play it was really cool. And it turned out far better than we all thought.
Yeah,
so it really, yeah, that was probably my highlight.
I think my highlight was just like the experience, really, just the atmosphere, because it was such a unique experience on like all the 1920s jazz. It was such a unique experience. And I thought that was really really interesting.
Just getting to be part of like a group of people playing music live. It's not something that at least I get to do tons, so it was such a privilege.
I guess you're normally in it, aren't you? And this time you were from the side.
Well,
playing along, which is quite...
yeah, it was really fun. Like I was an absolute blast, and loved every minute.
Some challenges that we faced going into the production of Great Gatsby was I'd say the line learning was very difficult. Lots of lines for both of us.
Yeah, there was a lot of like heavy rehearsals every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The biggest challenge was the pre-show, smashing a glass backstage, and then we had to improvise, and we brought in a cup, but smashing a glass backstage all over the stage, and we had to sweep it off. Day before the show was not nice.
Also, remembering the show as well as your lines, because you can't leave the stage and check what's next.
Yeah.
You've got to remember the whole layout of the show. That's another challenge.
Especially with you, you
didn't
didn't leave the stage at all.
It was a challenge, but it was a challenge I took on, and it was great fun.
It was, and the change in set,
quick changes from party to party.
Quick changes from going off in one scene, getting changed, and then coming straight back on.
Yeah,
that was
tough.
That was really hard. But the end product, those
super
last
satisfying.
3 nights, amazing.
We'd do again every day.
Absolutely, it was
brilliant.
very, very good.
And special.
I think this particular production, because it's obviously based in the 20s, had a real nice style to the dancing, and it allowed the students to kind of enter the era of the 1920s as well, which is something some of them haven't done. So it was really nice to bring that flair to the production. The students were fantastic. I think I didn't make it easy for them at all. They had lots of different Charleston steps in there. Some of them had done that before, some of them had never done that before. So getting the whole cast involved in the whole Charleston numbers were really lovely. I think one of my personal highlights was seeing the show, as I watched it as an audience member on the Saturday, and seeing it all come together on the final night, where they were just going for it and just enjoying it at that point. They weren't having to think about the steps too much, or they weren't overthinking. They were just doing it purely for the enjoyment of dancing, which was really lovely to see. In terms of dance, it's like making sure that their dance wasn't too modern, but it related back to the 1920s. So almost finding that stylistic quality for their movement, which all of them managed to do by the end of it, which was fantastic. A massive well done to all of our students who participated in The Great Gatsby. You were all amazing, and I'm looking forward to working with you on our next production.
I think the other really remarkable thing for me with The Great Gatsby cast and band was the number of people who had not actually been in a big show before, or any show, any performing arts show. So we had a couple of members of the band who had not done anything before. They'd played in a band, but they'd not been part of a theatrical show, and it was fantastic. One of them even missed a family birthday. He wasn't supposed to be there for the last night, and he couldn't resist and wanted to be here with the cast and the company for that last show. And we had one of our singers had never done any kind of a show before at all, and she was a part of the cast, but also stood up and sang a couple of songs and was absolutely fantastic. This is important for me, I think, because I remember when that first opportunity came for me as a student to be involved in a show, and just how transformative that was for me. And if there's one thing we're in this business for, it's to give students the opportunity to get involved in something new and find a new passion. And so I really hope Gatsby has given a few new people that spark and passion to be involved in the performing arts going forward.
Working with people that you wouldn't usually work with, the people that you wouldn't see in your lessons or see in sport, and work with these different people was amazing to, interact with loads of different personalities.
And take their advice from previous experiences that they've had with
Exactly,
acting, and
and
it
bring it
just
into yours.
bouncing off of their chemistry was just brilliant.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
I just want to say to everyone involved in The Great Gatsby, you made my dreams come true, and I'm so proud of all of you, and well done. Well done to the seasoned pros, well done to the people taking their first steps into performing arts. Well done to all of you, you've been brilliant.
Amazing.